Welcome to the ACM FatStar 2019 conference. We're really glad to have you here, and we're hoping you're surviving Atlanta's first blizzard of 2019. Feel free to stick around for the real storm this weekend. Super Bowl. Okay. The FatStar conference is driven by numerous values and commitments, including a deeply rooted commitment to diversity and inclusion. Since the conference planning began 6 months ago, we've worked hard to find ways to include as wide of an audience as possible. Thanks to your generosity and the generosity of our sponsors, we've been able to offer over $32,000 in scholarships to help those who otherwise wouldn't be able to financially attend. We are purposefully live streaming the conference so that those who cannot join us in person can join us in the ether. Please make sure to tell your friends that they are welcome and encouraged to join us via the live stream. We will also make videos of the talks available shortly after the conference so you can rewatch all the greatest hits. Here at the conference, we've tried to provide services that allow more people to fully participate. We have a prayer room, a nursing suite, and subsidized childcare. If there's anything that we can do in future iterations of the conference to make it more comfortable, please let us know. Recognizing limitations in the budget, we are trying to make this event as broadly accessible as possible. While this is the second FatStar conference, it's the first time we're hosting the conference with ACM. This means that authors have the ability to make their papers archival. This also allowed us to begin growing the conference. Indeed, we had 162 submissions this year, which is more than double last year's rate. Many of you are here for the first time with us, and we're honored that you are. Please raise your hand if this is your first FatStar.
Woo! That's amazing.
One of our commitments is to help create a kind and generative community of researchers and practitioners invested in fairness, accountability, and transparency. For those of you who have been here before, or those of you who are exceptionally gregarious, please help make everyone who is new here feel welcome. Get to know people, grab a drink on the 3rd floor in the bar. We're having a reception here at the hotel from 5:30 to 7 tonight, so you have a chance to gather and chat.
So Jamie and I are your general co-chairs, and we've been completely honored to be here with you. And we really do want to see the community come together and give you opportunities to chat. It is amazing for me to see how many of you are here for the first time, and I hope everyone is excited to see the possibility of this community growing, the richness and thickness of the kinds of work that we're doing. So we know that not everybody is so comfortable talking to strangers in the middle of a large reception. That's awkward, right? That's part of why we love being academics and adjacent folks. So for those of you who prefer digital communication, includes myself, there is a Slack channel, and you can feel free to connect to all sorts of people that way. And there's also opportunities to connect on Twitter using the hashtag FAT2019. So instructions for how to do this can be found on the website, or if you didn't pick up a little note over at reception, they'll allow you to get information. So your sort of more comfortable digital world can actually occur, and you can even actually chat digitally during the reception if that makes you feel better. We're okay with that. So we want you to be able to connect here digitally and in person, but please be thoughtful. Harassments and other forms of cruelty will not be tolerated. That's an important part of what it means to be building a community here at FatStar. If you are a bystander to any such horrific encounters, please support your colleagues, stand up for the people that you see, and please engage the conference organizers, us, the steering committee, as soon as possible so that we can actually help address whatever might occur. So today, tomorrow, one of the things we're really committed to is engaging the broader community in talking about the future iterations of this conference. So tomorrow there's a town hall that will happen right after lunch at 1:10 in order to really talk through the strategic vision and other important matters to the conference. The executive committee really wants all of you to be a part of this. You don't have to be. You can continue to talk with folks. But if you can, try to join us so that we can actually have a conversation about where this conference goes. Finally, I want to take a moment to give some deep and grateful thank yous. First and foremost, we all need to thank Melanie Penagos. It is hard to fully convey how critical she has been to this entire process. Many of you have encountered her. She has helped with things big and small at every level. And I think she's actually out there helping people rather than being in here. So let's make a cheer as loud as possible so she can hear it all the way out there. Thank you, Melanie. We also want to thank the executive committee, the program chairs, the numerous other chairs who helped make this possible. This is all volunteer work, people really stepping in because they're passionate. Could all who served as a chair for this year's conference please stand up to be recognized? And this is guilting you. You will have to stand up, right? So these are some of the folks, and others are being shy. You can thank them online. So please, a huge round of applause to the folks who made this happen. We'd also like to thank the program committee. Doing conference work like this requires a lot of people engaging with a lot of different material. So for everybody who's contributed as a program chair, as evaluating the different systems and the track chairs, could you all please stand up to be acknowledged of the volunteer work that you've done? And again, I know there are a lot of you. And again, we have shy ones. Thank you. So there are more folks. Again, you can thank them online. But thank you guys. Super, super appreciated. Finally, we want to thank our sponsors. Putting on a conference at this scale, even with all of the volunteer work from folks in this room, isn't cheap. And we wanted to make this conference as affordable as possible for as many people as possible. As Jamie mentioned, there were all sorts of scholarships to give people who couldn't easily get here access. Many people are here for free because of the graciousness of different sponsors. And so sponsors have been really critical to making certain that this conference can actually happen, is affordable, and is able to support as many people as possible. So thank you to DeepMind, Google, Microsoft, Spotify, and Twitter for sponsoring the conference. And thank you to the Ethics and Governance of AI Initiative, Ford Foundation, Illuminate, the MacArthur Foundation, Open Society Foundations, and the Smith Futures for additional support in this process. Now I'm going to turn it over to Alex to discuss the program and get us started in a day. And note that we have both Alex and Fernando who have been our program chairs. So as we turn it over, please give them a huge round of applause for the huge work they've done.
Thank you, Dana and Jamie. One unglamorous announcement to the speakers. If you are presenting today and you haven't yet signed a speaker release form, you did not do this at registration, for instance, could you please do so at the registration desk sometime before your presentation? The registration desk is just right across the way. This is really important for the live stream and recording component of today's program. So it's really been a pleasure over the past year to organize this program with my partner in crime, Fernando Diaz, who will welcome you back for day 2 of the technical program tomorrow. While today is the first day of the paper presentations, our programming actually kicked off yesterday. I know many of you were here for that. Alexandra Olteanu and Emery Kitcheman organized our tutorials, which included hands-on translation and implication tutorials with speakers from academia, industry, NGOs, and governmental agencies. Suresh and Martin also introduced our first ever doctoral consortium. This brought together senior graduate students across a variety of disciplines represented by FATSTAR, and this allowed them to engage in networking, mentoring, and career discussion opportunities that are important for promoting them in the field. I'd like to ask PhD students who participated in the consortium this year to please stand up if you're in the room. Don't be too shy. Right? Okay. And I'd also like to continue embarrassing you. Any other PhD students or graduate students who are currently in the room, please stand up. Great. Thank you. Your participation in today's event is extremely heartening, and we really hope to see you at future doctoral consortiums in the coming years. You really are the future of this research community. For the next 2 days, we're going to highlight research submitted for the main technical program, which includes content from theory and privacy, statistics and machine learning, applications, systems, human-computer interaction, measurement and auditing, empirical studies, law, policy, and critical analysis. In total, we received 162 submissions, which were evaluated by a group of 118 PC members and 23 track chairs. This led to the 41 accepted papers that you will hear presented over the next 2 days. We want to thank again the authors of all of the submissions, our track chairs, and the entire program committee for making this excellent technical program possible. Of these 41 papers, we recognize 3 submissions with Best Paper Awards. These papers received not only very high reviews during the initial process, but also passed through a second committee that selected from a smaller subset of exceptional contributions. These 3 awards were Best Technical Paper, Best Technical and Interdisciplinary Paper, and a new award that we're introducing this year for Best Non-Archival Contribution. This year's Best Technical Paper Award goes to Elisa Salas, Sayesh Kapoor, Farnooz Salehi, and Nishith Vishnoi for their contribution, Controlling Polarization and Personalization, an algorithmic framework, which will be presented today in session 5. So congratulations. The Best Technical and Interdisciplinary Paper Award this year, which recognizes high-quality work that makes a meaningful technical contribution while also engaging substantively with the problems or methods from a multitude of disciplines represented by the FADSTAR community, goes to Ben Green and Yiling Chen for their contribution, Disparate Interactions, an algorithm in the loop analysis of fairness in risk assessments. This paper will be presented tomorrow in session 10. Lastly, the Best Non-Archival Contribution, which is awarded to a paper which is excellent and would have been considered for one of the other Best Paper Awards, but could not be on account of being non-archival, goes to Ziad Obermeyer and Sena Mullainathan for their contribution, Dissecting Racial Bias in an Algorithm that Guides Health Decisions for 70 million people. This will be presented tomorrow in session 10. Again, congratulations.